Plus, but
All right, it's now 6 o'clock. Call this meeting to order. I'm going to ask Councilman Woods if he'd give us the invocation.
Oh, gracious and Heavenly Father, once again you have allowed us to assemble together. Father God, we thank you, Lord, for life, health, and strength. Father, we is walking to a season of giving. Let us not forget the reason for the seasons. Father, continue to bless all of our family members, both near and far away. Allow us to continue to work hand in hand with you in mind, Lord, as we move forward with this county. Father God, we ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, moving to approval of agenda items. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, just in case that, before we approve it, just in case that Attorney Luck comes in, I would like to allow, ask that we add him to allow to just to speak on this, please.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you. That's a point.
Very good idea.
Thank you.
I don't think we need a make a addition.
No.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the agenda items as written.
Second.
All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. I know Councilman Odom will be here shortly. Moving to approval of minutes, the November 8th, 2023 call meeting.
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor? That's unanimous. All right, approval of the November 14th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
so move.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
I abstain. I was
You
absent.
abstain?
Yeah, I was absent that
Okay,
day.
got one abstention. And then 6-4. Motion carries. We have to go into executive session for discussion of contractual matters. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, we will move into executive session. Unanimous vote. All right, we are back in open session from executive session. Motion was made by Dr. Johnson to exit, and Councilman Woods seconded that, and it was unanimous to come out of executive session. No action was taken. Right now, we need a motion to enter a contract for the spring event.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Any questions?
All right, all in favor? That is unanimous. And we need a motion for the administrator to proceed with the contract with CPL Engineering for the Aquatic Center. And that was for the Aquatic Center, okay? We got a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, motion carries, it's unanimous. All right, moving along to old business, ordinance 818A, a ordinance to amend ordinance 818 to outline conditions for renewable energy systems to establish the effective date of this ordinance. This is the third reading. Mr. Administrator?
We've already had the first two readings, just, I don't think anything other explanation is needed.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 18, please.
Yes.
After this solar completion system is, application is being made, it states that the property owners within a certain number of feet, that notification be sent out. Were there any residents living within that distance?
I'm not sure about the residents over there. There's one, I know there are three of them, of the properties that are being considered. And one of them does have a residence that actually sold in that property.
Okay.
And the other two, I'm just not sure, but if they are, they're gonna have to adhere to this. I mean, our inspectors are gonna go out there anyway and make sure that it's within certain feet or not within certain feet of residents. So that's not something I would do. That'd be up to our,
Right,
who was that, Safe Build? We'll go out there and look at that and make sure that,
I just know it's in that clause.
Right,
I just want to
right.
be sure that that is followed. Because they
ma'am.
have to get a notice and then it has to be put in the paper for a certain number of days too.
right,
Okay.
right. And they're not due to even start for, I'm not sure, it was maybe a year or two before you get started. They just want to make sure things are in line. They're doing things the right way. They just want to make sure that things are legally correct first before they move forward.
Okay.
And so, we'll have plenty of time to do the
I
public
just want to
notice.
be sure because I know with residential and solar, I want to be
Yes.
sure that that won't become an issue for the people
Right.
who live there.
It'll go according to this ordinance.
Okay, and then the other thing on page 20,
Yes, ma'am.
the codes and enforcement codes, those amount fees, are those going to be the fees that we already have in our building code?
Yes, we're not gonna change those. It's gonna be what we already have.
Same codes that we have, that we got in our package in June?
Right,
That's a new building
right,
code, okay.
right, that's not gonna change. Now, during the next budget, during the next budget term, it's up to the council if you wanna change fees and that kind of thing. We can change that schedule of fees, but if that doesn't happen, it's gonna be whatever we have right now. And what this means is that whatever we change it to is what they're gonna do, not right now, but whatever we have at that time, whether it's 2024 or 2025, when they start construction, that's what those fees will be.
Okay. So is this the third reading and the public notice tonight?
Public notice the public hearing was last time,
Okay.
but I don't think anyone spoke on that, right? Did you we did put it out there, but no one signed up.
We did a public hearing at the last council meeting.
Okay.
And it was,
So we don't have any other questions from anybody, no comments from anybody from the public?
No, ma'am.
Just want to be sure.
right.
Okay.
Well, we still need a motion to amend ordinance 818.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we'll approve the ordinance 818.
All right, all in favor? That is unanimous.
That's a question came up.
Excuse me?
There was just a question that, we eliminated the solar aspect of the 75. We didn't eliminate the wind aspect of 75. And if that comes about, then we'll look at that. But right now, we just have solar that's really interested in that 75 being lifted, not wind. So that's why we didn't include wind in there. in the change of the
Okay.
ordinance.
I don't bring up any other questions, does it? All right, motion carried to approve. All right, moving to new business is the approval of the holiday schedule, 2024.
Well, we have our holiday schedule, and it's the same as it usually is. The only change from what we had before, what we handed you before, that the Juneteenth is actually changed to the 19th as opposed to 17th. I think the original packet had the 17th, but it's 19th, that Wednesday. So those are the dates for the holiday schedule usually, and then one floating day for people usually use it for birthdays or whatever.
I would like for council in the future, on the 4th of July, to really look at budgeting for maybe the 3rd and 4th and 5th of July for the employees of Marlboro County. If we can
If we can
put
spare
that in
that.
the budget, yeah, because that one day, the 4th that's asking.
Yeah, you're asking for people to take off on the 5th.
Yeah.
When you have something like July 4th, 'cause that's a huge travel holiday, and I think we all know that.
Yeah.
And it's also when we have people coming in. And in the future, we are going to have July 4th events sponsored by the county.
Right.
And so we would like for that is something that is really good to consider.
Right.
So depending on what day the week it comes on,
Right.
we do need to kind of look at how we're going to do our holidays for that. I agree with that, but that's something for council for budget time. We'll discuss that.
I move we approve holiday schedule 2024.
Second.
All in favor? All right, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Moving to ordinance 839, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of one or more economic development incentive agreements by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company known to the county as Project Purity, to provide for both fee in lieu and ad valorem taxes and special source revenue credit incentives and other related matters. Mr. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is related to a new project that we have, Project Purity, that's considering manufacturing in the county. And so we're asking for approval of that first reading tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we, on title only, ordinance 839.
A second.
All right, all in favor? All right, motion carries. It's
Thank you, Mr.
unanimous.
Chair.
Appointments to boards and commissions. Are there any outstanding? I see the Housing Authority.
Yeah, I just want to mention that the Housing Authority, we're talking about the Florence, so Marlboro County itself does not have a housing authority. That housing authority is under the Florence Housing Authority, and they actually give us the courtesy of appointing members to that board. We don't even have an ordinance for that. That's under Florence County. Okay, so what they're asking for is to renew the two people that are already there, and it really is their choice. They're just asking us kind of out of courtesy and to replace the county administrator as one of those three people is what they're asking.
And it's Ron King, yourself, and who else?
And the woman from the library, Bobby
Joe?
Bobby Joe. Yes.
So, may I have some discussion first?
Sure.
So, let me understand this, because I made a call. They're asking us to renew these two people, is that right?
To renew those two people and replace Mr. Mumlin with myself.
And then you have a mayor on here that's deceased.
That's not ours.
Yeah, that's not ours.
That's not ours.
This is over what you're
They
saying.
can ask different communities to appoint people on their board. And as a courtesy, they've asked us to appoint these two and our administrator.
Those other three are
Those
people,
are the two.
other people from other counties. That is under Florence County and their jurisdiction as far as who gets on that board.
So we had a meeting at one time, and Miss Eva McCray name came up for a suggested person from the Clio area to be put on that board. And Miss Rivers, you took her name, so what happened with that?
I'm not quite sure.
When was that? Ms.
About 4 months ago.
September.
3 or 4 months ago, yes. But yeah, I guess I was unaware, and Ms. Lawson also unaware that Florence took over the Marlboro County Housing Authority.
Florence has taken over that. They're the ones that do the one in Clio, the
Right.
unit in Clio. Now, the ones that are in Bennettsville, that's Bennettsville Housing Authority, and we don't have anything to do with that one. So, we don't really have we don't have any real say-so in that Florence County Housing Authority. And we don't have our own for Marlboro County that we control.
So we don't appoint,
We
they
don't
make the
appoint anyone for
suggestions
that?
to appoint?
They suggest the appointments, and now, I don't have a problem contacting the chairman there and asking him if there's anything that, as far as us having to,
Give them appointments?
give suggestions, but they typically give us suggestions.
Bill Kenny is dead. I mean, he's passed.
Right, but that's not one of our suggestions. We only got 3 suggestions.
I know, but I'm just saying that we let them know that they can maybe, they're from Marlboro County anyway.
Right.
He was from Marlboro County. So, if we let them know that he's passed.
That
maybe
he's
they can make
passed, and maybe we can get
a
somebody
better
else that we
suggestion
want.
from Marlboro County.
Well, that has to come through the council if that's gonna happen.
But they just want 3 representation. They just want 3 people.
So what they've asked for is for those
The
3.
3, okay.
Because they have to be renewed every so often. So they asked for those 2 to be renewed and for Mr. Mullen to be replaced. That's all they're asking in this request.
So do we receive any information from the housing authority? If they're doing the suggestions and appointment, what authority do we have?
We don't have any authority. We do have, so what we have is, if we get people that are gonna be there and be at the meetings, they can come back and let us know what is happening. If I'm there, I'm gonna let everyone know what's going on there. So that's why I am interested in being on that board, so I can go and get the information back to Marlboro County as to what they're doing. But we don't have any real authority over that, and that kind of shocked me when I learned that. But we don't, and it hadn't been that way. It's been that way for I don't know how long, Susan. How long?
Mr. Clyburn, are you aware that we pay a fee to them?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
No,
don't
we
have
pay
authority.
a
Right, I'm
fee,
just saying, but
right.
I don't know what else we're supposed to do. We do pay them a fee, but we don't have our own housing authority. I mean, the only thing we can think about doing, and it can't be done right now, it has to be done during a budget, term, is establishing a housing authority. But you're talking about that's a lot of work, and you got to have, that's a lot more employees. I mean, it's a lot more involved with that. We can't just say, hey, we got some people on the board, we're just gonna start controlling the housing. We gotta put some money into that if we're gonna do it.
I just know there's been a lot of things in the news the past few months since September concerning the Florence Housing Authority.
Oh, I agree.
They had a lot of negative publicity about the Florence Housing Authority.
Right.
So they lost a director, then they had to get another one.
Right.
And I don't know where they are with that now, but we don't get any information. And talking to one of the members on this board, they don't really get any clear information. So I know they meet February, they meet July, and they meet September. They had a meeting in September. The only reason I know because I attended the meeting down there. But sadly, that's no secret that they've been on the news with a whole lot of negative things that's going on with the housing authority. And I would like to know, where do we stand with that? Is there opportunities for us to grow with them, or what?
Mr. Clyburn, what I'd suggest is that you put you on there. And,
I'll be on the board.
And you report back to us in February when they had their first.
And that's what I was gonna say, when I
next
report back in
meeting.
February, these things take time. I report back in February, and I'll give you a clear assessment of, is there room to grow? Do we need to look at other things? Because look, we have our own opportunities if we take advantage of them. We're a county that's eligible for everything that's out there. I mean, I don't know of any kind of grant or any kind of fund, from Opportunity Zone to workforce development. We're eligible for everything. And so there's no reason why, if this doesn't work out to our advantage, why we can't do our own. I mean, I'm not saying that we do that, but that's something that it's always on the table. But I need to go up there and I'll talk with the other 2 members from here, and I'll suggest, hey, we need to pay close attention, see what the outlook is, what's going on, what are they doing? Is it something that we can grow with, or is it something that we need to look away from? but we need to give an honest assessment, and I'm willing to do that. I need to be on the board first before I can do that. Is the point.
Because this says Housing and Community Redevelopment Authority. It's just not the Housing Authority where
Right.
Section 8, this is Community Redevelopment. So
Right.
we're gonna
That's
be
right.
having.
And that's what we're looking trying to do. So
We need to have some people that bring us information back for grants and different type things that we can do in our own communities as well.
And there are opportunities for grants on that program.
as we learned last night, but that's another issue.
We still need a motion to add, or do we need to even do that as a motion?
Well, we do need it. We do need to accept the proposal from them.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the proposal coming from the Housing and Community Redevelopment Authority and allow our administrator to bring information back to council for proper appointments.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right. That's 7, that's a unanimous. All right, and I think by doing that motion, it clarified that.
What I'll do is I will send that information in the morning, the appointments and decide, and then, Mr. Piper will take over for the administrator, he will attend the meeting.
Okay, are there any other board or commissions to appoint members to?
Mr. Clyburn, where are we with ordinance for some of those things that we said we were gonna make some changes to?
So-
Where are we with that?
So in my administrator's report, I'm going to talk about, we didn't make changes, but we did give all the members of that Economic Development Board the new ordinance, because when we pulled it up, Susan, there were like 6 different ones, but we do have the latest one from 2020, right? One from 2020, and I think it may be due to be renewed or at least looked at maybe another year or so, but we have that one, and everyone who's at the meeting got a copy of it. But I was going to talk about that in the administrator's report on that part. But as far as other boards, we looked for something with housing, but we couldn't find anything even from the past. And we were looking at, and I got to get with Mr. Midgley Senior, Big Mr. Midgley, about the airport, because we do have an ordinance for that board, and I got to really go over that with the commission over there to make sure that, because we're looking at potentially getting some funds from a lot of sources to help build that airport terminal. So they're different. I mean, we have so many different boards. I gotta get time to get through all of them. But the airport one is the one that I was going to concentrate on next after the economic development. But now to bring the housing up,
I like to see that we at least work on at least 4 at a time, so we can get some of those ordinances in line, because we're not getting them in line. Some of them are still at the same position that we were when I got on council 12 months ago.
we'll get done as fast as we can get them done.
Thank you.
We have no bids this evening? Okay, Mr. Administrator, we'll ask West Park for the finance.
Park?
Mr. Chairman, council members, Mr. Clyburn, you have the report before you for general fund for the first 5 months of this fiscal year. At that date, revenues totaled $3,270,798 in comparison to $3,227,003 for the 5 months ending November 30th, 2022. General fund expenditures through November 30th of 23 total $5,905,419 of a $14,233,618 budget, or 41.49% of budget year to date. In comparison, general fund expenditures totaled $5,584,748 for the same 5 months period ending November 30th, 2022. In conclusion, revenues are up in comparison to prior year, but so are expenditures as well. Any questions about the report?
I have a question.
Certainly.
Hopefully, Mr. Parks, and I want you to know, I do appreciate all that you do for us. I really do. And I'm looking at, when you put in here, as far as the in these funds, you continue to put this about where we are with these funds, like Fund 55, all the funds that we have. I noticed that you continue to put that in here.
Yes, yes.
And one of the things, so I can be really clear, because I'm not clear in a finance committee meeting when we meet, are all these accounts in separate accounts? Tell me so I'll know.
They are in separate funds, yes. They are
separate accounts.
separated, yes. Yes, ma'am.
And then for each account that we have that means some of them are in separate banks also?
Some of them are in separate banks as well, yes.
So just offhand, how many accounts do we have?
How many bank accounts do
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have?
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking we've got at least 30 different bank accounts. And obviously, it depends on, typically, it's connected to the collections, and there is a separate account with the treasurer for various types of collections that she makes every month.
So each department may have their own separate account?
Not necessarily each department, it's more of a matter of, okay, if we've got, the various types of property taxes that are collected, we've got things where we're collecting, for example, we've got credit card collections that we make for building permits. That's a separate bank account. We also have special revenue funds that we collect, and those are separate bank accounts. For example, with EMS, that's a proprietary fund, and we've got at least 2 different bank accounts for EMS, for example. Same with, we look at solid waste, some of the other funds, but I would say we've got 30 different bank accounts.
Golf course has a separate bank account.
Golf course, yeah, that's a great example.
And with that, when you give us this revenue report as far as funds coming in,
Yes, ma'am.
my question is, why I'm asking so many questions, where I know that, okay, let's use the golf recreation department from there. When these funds come in and they're, let's say if I book an event, okay? So do we get any kind of line item with the type revenues coming in from these accounts anywhere? Are we seeing that somewhere?
That's one of the special revenue funds, and I'm only reporting on general fund in terms of the monthly report, and then, of course, then we've got the project-related funds, so I am doing separate reporting on those project-related funds.
But are we seeing that in our?
You're not seeing those, like, for example, with the golf course. I did not include that in the presentation here.
I would like to know what kind
Or
of
the
funds that's being
operations.
generated, what type monies are coming in
Okay.
to these separate accounts, because I know that we have a lot of expenditures from general fund, but I do know that we're getting revenues in from these accounts too. And
I'll
that
be
would
glad to
that would really
include,
satisfy me a lot.
I will say
Okay.
this, that a lot of this stuff needs to be discussed in committee meetings, and we just had one last week. So if you have any questions, let's bring it to a committee meeting and clarify.
And you're right, sir, with the committee meetings, the agenda is already set for us, so I'm gonna ask that be a part of the agenda.
Yeah,
Thank
with the agenda for the committee meetings,
Thank you.
we'll leave some space for questions.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. And I've also got a reporting on the various capital project funds that we've included. One of the things I did this time is I included a summary, which basically this is the budget expenditures to date and then what's remaining. So hopefully that will be useful in looking at, just to have a quick glance in terms of where we are with each one of these projects.
Thank you very much for your
Certainly.
explanation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Park. Mr. Clyburn, Administrator report.
Give me 1 second, I have it right here. Where she took my administrator's report? Okay, So, first of all, good evening, everyone. I do want to thank everyone who came out to the Christmas dinner and those who couldn't come out to the Christmas dinner that we had last week. That Christmas dinner was wonderful. We had a great time. I do want to say that some of those who couldn't make it were some of our EMS workers who were actually working during that time, and all the award winners for best, everything. Calvin, you can explain the award winners. They weren't there because they had to work. So I do want to make sure that we recognize. What are some of the names?
So the EFT of the year was Susan Davis. Paramedic of the year was Harley Burkmeyer, or Harley Holson now. And I have to read the,
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to post, all the names of those. We want to give them some recognition for what they've done. And I wasn't able to make the sheriff's dinner, but we did have a Christmas dinner and it was a success. And we thank everybody for coming out. And hopefully we go again. Next year will be the same. I want to go back to our turkey giveaway. Turkey giveaway was great. I mean, those turkeys went. They flew, so to speak. But I do think that this county, and I'm not trying to complain, but I do think this county can try to do a little bit more and get a few more turkeys out there, a lot more turkeys out there. People really, I think you have to see some of the homes that they were delivered to. And I know some, Mr. Stroman, some different people who really needed those turkeys, needed the turkey. And not that we have to give away everything in this county, but I do think we do owe it to some of our, especially our elderly, and some of those who just can't do. I would like to see that increase because it was such a good gesture from the county, and it does bring a lot of goodwill from the citizens. So I just want to say that about that turkey giveaway. I want to mention the inmate assistance program. I think we have a clear date now, January 15th. That's a Monday. I think the 19th, the next day. I think the 19th of December is when they're going to do the training. So we'll have some of our people trained, and once they get that training, they'll be set to go ahead and go to the inmate. They're already ready. They're not going anywhere. The detention centers, they're ready to go with that. So we just need to get the training in. We've been waiting on Columbia to get the training done for us. I guess they're doing a lot of other counties or whatever, but we're going to get that the 19th. And once we get that, we're ready to go on the 15th of January or the 16th of January. Any questions about that?
Just clarify what the training is going to benefit them for. Can you just make sure?
So anyone who works with inmates has to get certified through training as far as their different regulations. Certain things you can and can't give them. You can't give them any kind of, monetary compensation. You can't have them around certain people, certain public events, but they can do all the, different things they can and can't do. Certain standards of care you have to have with them when they're around you. So those are things, I'm not really familiar with every single rule there, but everyone gets, and I'm going to get training myself actually just because the rest of our staff is getting it. But it will be our maintenance, public works, and then some of the others that may need that assist in parks. We're going to get some of those to get that training so that they'll be able to legally do that with the inmate assistance. We're going to have them doing trash pickups, even some of the different work that we have to have done around. Like, for instance, in the back of the administrative office building, we have trash, just a bunch of stuff. We're going to remove some of that stuff so we can use for storage, because in the tax office, we need storage. So it's just a lot of little things. Well, not really little things. They're things that we need labor for, and we're going to be training them so they can do that. All right. Next thing, I did want to go back to two meetings. One is the Economic Development Board meeting. There was not a quorum, so we couldn't do any kind of voting. We couldn't elect any officers there. But everyone received the updated ordinance for that. And we let them know that we're not going to move forward until we structure everything properly. And that starts with the officers. We do want to make sure, we couldn't get a count for who's there because we didn't have many show up. it was suggested that we do that evening, and they all said the evening was good, but they just, it may have been not as much notice, but we already have the next meeting scheduled for January 3rd. Did we decided to keep that 3rd, right? Right, the first Wednesday, January 3rd at 6 p.m. And we're already getting that notice out to everyone. And that includes all the industries that we've talked to for other things. We talked to them about that as well, the industries and the utilities. We're going to get them in there full-fledged so that we can start doing the business of that board. The last thing I want to talk about, I did attend a PD Regional Council of Government meeting last night, otherwise known as the infamous PD COG. So in that meeting, we did learn, I think Dr. Johnson had talked about while we're there, and all of our members were there. You know, we had perfect attendance there. But I guess he and I asked some questions about some of the road projects. There was a Wallace Road project that was supposed to be taking place, but I think I talked to you about that. They didn't want that. And so we didn't get it because the residents didn't want that. It had disturbed too many private properties. But the question was, if that $3.5 million is what they said, 3.25 million wasn't going to be spent there, where was it going to be spent in Marlboro County? Well, see, that money has to go back to the COG funds and for the engineering, and we have to request that. And sometimes, you know, it takes months. That project, I think, was submitted last year. So it takes some time for us to do that. And what she said was that there would be room for having some smaller projects if they're, you know, some areas that are dangerous. I know that's 381. You know, I don't like that intersection. I got there and didn't know what was going on. You know, and they've had wrecks over there, from what I heard. And that doesn't take a lot of money to fix. You're talking about some indentations and some lights on the stop sign. I don't think that's such a hard thing to get done. And so I'm calling out right now. I want to see something like that. At least get something rolling in Marlboro County to get some kind of attention to some dangerous areas. And I believe they looked at Wallace Road, but they didn't look at the part right by the lake where it's a drop-off. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? There's a huge drop-off there. It's probably about 10 feet. There's no railing, nothing. And I asked them just for a rail. Can we get a rail? And they said, well, we got to do a study. We hadn't had anybody, you know, fly over it yet. I don't know if that's a good excuse or not, but, you know, I'm going to be pressing for that as well. But I think through the COG, and we're there now, we're there at every meeting, and we're going to be asking questions, and we're going to make sure that they understand that Marlboro County has to get their fair share of all these different projects that we saw last night being issued out. But we can't get them until they're due, and we have to apply for these like sometimes a year in advance, sometimes 6 months in advance. So that's going to start coming for us soon. But we did attend that meeting, and it was a very fruitful meeting as far as that's concerned, learning some things that we needed to learn. But any questions? That's it for my administrative report. Any questions?
Can we get a status of the bowling alley and?
So I'm going to get those renderings. I had some renderings that we were looking at, but they weren't quite what we had talked about. I think we decided that if we're going to do it, it needs to be done really nice, brand new. Get the money, you know, find out how much it's going to cost, get the cost of that, and look at getting some funding for that as a whole instead of trying to piece it together. And so I got some renderings coming. They'll definitely be here by the January meeting where I can present the renderings to everyone.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. All right, we have no request before council, so we'll move to the recognition of the council members. We'll start with Councilman Woods.
On our recreation subcommittee meeting, myself, Jamal Campbell, and the two employees that work for recreation, we talked in depth about moving forward in the basketball sign-ups, doing what they do have, and increasing participation for sign-ups. We encourage them to we have to go back to some of the old ways. A lot of the areas, in rural areas, that when kids trying to sign up, they don't have the QR thing that they can do. You know, sometimes you gotta go door to door. We want to increase the numbers. They did the paperwork for the school for usage. Clio School, we did not get approved for the Wallace School, which is understandable. It's a fairly new school, but right now we have the Benefit School, the Clio School, the William Prince Center for practices and games. So we're asking to, getting a schedule together for the holidays, so our kids can come in and start practicing, and a league play hopefully will begin in January. We're going to try to have a follow-up meeting with the AD and Ms. Rhonda before they get out of school. I know school to get out on the 15th, but we got all the kids' names and numbers, so hopefully we can get back in touch with them before they get out of school, so we can move forward with our basketball program. Next, I know I thank everybody for contacting me and my family for the passing of my grandmother last month. It was a difficult time, but it was a enjoyable time because we know the life that she lived, well deserved and well appreciated. And I thank y'all for reaching out and showing your condolences. We got a lot of calls, a lot of visitors, and it meant a lot to the Woods family. It meant a lot to me. That I hope everybody have a great Christmas. We know I saw EMS. My business is on number 9, and the last couple of days they were burning my number 9 up. I think y'all had an accident today in Clio. So we definitely, everybody need to be safe, be safer. Because no matter how good a driver you drive, you as be a perfect driver, but that next person might not be paying attention. So EMS, continue your work, and I know the sheriff department, they got a lot going on with the holiday season. Ladies, when y'all go shopping, park in a lighter area, because everybody don't want the work. Everybody wants something free. So be careful, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings. And we hope everybody have a good and safe holiday season.
Ms. Awesome.
I want to say thanks to first of all the staff for everything that they've done for us this year, setting the rooms up and just the small things that has been done. But I also want to give credit where credit is due. I want to thank the Lord for us because we got through this year, 2023 year. So I'm thankful for that. But I would like to say concerning the turkey giveaway, I would like to see, I know Waste Management had a portion in that, but I would like to see funding increase for that too. Not only through the council, but also through Waste Management, because people were really excited to get the turkey. Some of us had persons that we delivered to ourselves and purchased more turkeys. Yeah. But that would be a great thing, and I would like for us, even if we have to look at it for a line item budget thing, but whatever we need to do, I think that's a great thing. The second thing I want to bring to everyone's attention, you have a flyer that was created today, but I want to give thanks and appreciation to Attorney Jason Luck. He and a team of students from USC, the University of South Carolina Law, they will be providing and connecting everyone with a simple will and a healthcare power of attorney. And that's going to happen on January the 12th. And we're going to use the county library, but they're also going to be bringing a bus. The law students will be bringing a bus to help do wills. So there's people out there, you know that, and I know that our lawyer, we have a lawyer here, they normally charge you $200 plus to do a will. But this will be a free opportunity. And hopefully this event will spark more lawyers in our community to provide that service free of charge to the people in our community. And if this goes well, we would like to schedule another one. And with that note, I would like to say thank you so much, Mr. Clyburn, for what you are doing and your staff. And I want to wish everyone not only a Merry Christmas, but a safe and happy Christmas. And I do thank you. Oh, one other thing I want to say, January, we should expect, I hope we do have Miss Bobby Joe from the grooms from the library. They have a hub of things going on in that
Yes.
library. And it would be good to have her present some of those things, those opportunities that's going on with the library. Because one of the things that she and I talked about is using that computer lab. So the community people, some elderly people are requesting to learn how internet access and how to do internet and how to work on the computers with that program that I went to. We want to provide that to the people. Thank you.
Mr. Strummer? That's fine. Like to say, I'm wishing everybody, have a safe and happy holiday. It's coming up, Christmas and New Year. This is the final meeting of this year here. And once again, here in Marlboro County, in the citizens' eyes, it looks like we have no dirt moving. Once again, another year has passed by, and it seems like we're just dragging our feet, kicking the can down the road. And I know the government sometimes are slow, but we really, really need to keep our citizens of Marlboro County in mind. We gave out the turkeys for Thanksgiving, and I'm telling this council right now that there are citizens in Marlboro County that really need our help. Not just turkeys. I mean, some of the houses, some particular houses, you go in and giving out turkeys and they don't even have a floor in the house. They're sleeping on mattresses that are tilted about to roll in a hole. We need to find some type of program, some type of something to offer these people, give them some type of help. And we sitting up here, we making decisions, I guess, what we can with the little budget that we have, but we really have to think outside of the box and help our citizens. I beg you to come up with something for the citizens. Mr. Clyburn, thank you for the job you're doing. Your staff is wonderful, wonderful. Since you've been here, the board has become aware of so many things that we were not aware of. Things that I think that if we had known in the past, we would have acted a different way. And I want to elaborate, but I think everyone knows. So I'm going to leave it with that, but once again, keep the citizens of Marlboro County in your prayers and in your mind. And my phone number is 843-544-8130. If you need anything, please bother me. You hired me, you voted for me, bother me. I will try my best. Call me. That's what I'm asking you to do. You will not interrupt me. You will not anything. Just call that number if you need assistance, and I will try my best to get it to you.
Just an update, this is December, and so ORO was supposed to receive bids for the ORO project this December, and should put that out for construction starting in March of next year. So that project still is on go. It's still taking a long time, but that project is still on go. And so hopefully in the January, we'll have some more information on it. But as of today, that project's still going forward. And spring is supposed to issue the actual contract to start work on it. So we're excited about it. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Stay safe, and looking forward to 2024.
I want to say thank you to Mr. Clyburn and the staff of Marlboro County Government for their diligent work throughout the year. We've had some challenges, but we're pleased with the efforts that you and your staff have put together to make sure that our county is running in a manner that's more efficiently, so we can really begin to start some projects and really begin to capitalize on some of the things. Every time I go to those PDCOG meetings and I look at the amount of money that has been given out to so many different counties and don't see anything about Marlboro County, my stomach hurts when I see the massive amount of money that has been given out. But we're hoping to capitalize on that in this next year. And so we're gonna be doing our due diligence about deadlines and monies that are coming into the COG, so we can make sure that Marlboro County gets their fair share. Want to say a special prayer for the Sheriff Department, one of their officers, and that family. My prayers are with them in their time of grief and bereavement. And please keep people in your prayers during this time. The Christmas season is a festive time, but it's one of the saddest times of the year for a lot of people who are experiencing loss and grief. And so take a moment, to think of someone outside of yourself and say a special prayer, for those who might be going through the storms. We have a lot of people in our county that are hurting, but they see hope, and if we can offer them hope and we can follow up with their hope with some action, we can do some things in this county. Continue to stay safe in this season. And again, my job is to be available for our citizens and to fight on behalf of our citizens. And I take that to great heart, because guess what? I'm a citizen. And the same fight that I want for myself is the same fight that I give for those who are dependent upon us to make sound decisions that will help improve their lives.
Just want to thank staff and Mr. Clyde and council members for what we've done this year. We've had some rocky times, and but in all, I have to say the last 3 or 4 meetings have been real good, and I just like the way things are starting to go, and I think that we making some headway now. We all trying to work together, and we trying to see each other's points, and then trying to get the best out of it. Whether you think you're right or wrong, we want to do the best for the county and the people. So I just want to thank everybody, wish you a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we can start out as good as we ending up first of the year. That's all.
Okay, again, I'd like to remind everybody, remember Anthony, losing his grandmother, 107 years old. That's a long time she was around, and think about them. It's going to be a different Christmas for his family. Another thing that Nancy talked about going out in these parking lots and stuff, the remote opener, most every one of them's got a red button on it, a panic button. Women need to keep that thing in their hand and keep their finger on that button. If a group comes up on them, hit that button. I heard just the other day, two people approached a woman, and she hit the button and they took off running. That might save some sister or some husband's wife or whatever, but it's a happy time of the year, but it's also a dangerous time of the year, because the criminals, this is the time of the year they want to prey on everybody. Coming up January 26th, Jesse Evans, the Executive Director of the Marlboro County Chamber of Commerce, we have our legislative breakfast coming up. The legislative delegation has been, they've talked to him, and both our state U.S. senators, our House members, the governor, the lieutenant governor are going to try and get one of them or both of them to come up. Just really, hopefully this will be a good thing. We need to get these officials at the state and federal level to come into Marlboro County. We all feel like we're on the move. We need to get the recognition from the state and the federal people to come in and visit us. The Academy Road, an update on that. A couple of nights ago, there was an article on social media that it was a shame that it had been down since 2016. Well, that's entirely false. It went out on September the 14th, 2018, when Hurricane Florence hit, along with Wire Road and also the bridge in McCall. 357 days from the time that hurricane hit, we opened the bridge in McCall, less than 1 year. But it took every day with me working with the property owner, working with DHEC and the state DOT and stuff, and we got it done. And the other two situations are a little bit different, because I think one of the property owner in Wire Road lived out of the state. But getting back to the Academy Road, numerous owners in that pond has caused a lot of the problem with it, and a lot of other things. When you're dealing with DHEC, dealing with DOT, I'll put it this way, there's been a lot of complications trying to get the Academy Road project going. But anyway, I talked with the engineer, DOT engineer yesterday. They sent the specifications and the project data back to DOT 2 weeks ago, and they are reviewing it. So it looks like the first of the year, they'll let a bid out, as you said, Jason, and to get both of those projects started and get that road open, because it's been a tremendous a safety issue, you know, and that's what we had on 381. It was a safety issue because the McCall Rescue Squad and fire department, they had to go like 5 miles around the town every time they had to go towards Clio. Well, strokes and heart attacks, and people don't have 10 or 15 minutes extra to spend. So anyway, we're going to stay on top of that. I did, the person I talked to, that wrote the post, I made him aware that Anthony and myself have both made calls on getting, because that lies in Anthony's district, the Academy Road project. But we have both made phone calls and stayed on top of that thing to get it done. It's just, and I know behind the scene, there's been a lot of stuff go on in that Academy Road project, the reason it is taking so long. But it is coming to fruition. Last thing, want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a safe holiday. As I talked to our team meeting this morning, this time of year, people pay attention to who's meeting you, because they got a Christmas list in their hand and might have something else in their hand that they shouldn't be having. But anyway, we need to pay attention to everybody you meet, because this time of year people are distracted, and you know, it can be a happy time of year, but we sure don't want it to be a sad time of year because somebody slipped over the yellow line or didn't pay attention and somebody moved over into their side of the lane. But anyway, everybody have a happy Merry Christmas.
And I'd like to add, Mr. Clyburn and our staff, thank y'all for such a successful, wonderful Christmas dinner we had. And that was very nice. And I'd like all the employees and workers of this county to know that this council is so grateful for each and every one of you. And we want y'all to have a Merry Christmas, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year. All right, with that being said, is there a motion?
Second.
All right, all in favor, adjourn?